Commissioner Kelly, are narcotics and hard drugs allowed in Canadian prisons?
No, they are not.
So then why, and do you not think it's a little bit disingenuous that that there are prison needle exchanges and safe injection sites that allow for the legal consumption of narcotics in Canadian prisons?
So these are harm reduction programs that have been implemented. In terms of the prison needle exchange program,
So Commissioner Kelly, you stated that narcotics are not allowed in our prisons. Yet there is programs that facilitate their legal use in our prisons. I think Canadians are rightfully disappointed, and quite frankly, I hear from many that are disgusted that that would be something and the official policy of the Correctional Service of Canada. But I think further to that, Commissioner, do the guards that are responsible for ensuring that inmates are safe and ensuring that the Canadian public are safe, do guards, the correctional service officers of this country, support those programs and their use in our prisons?
So in terms of the prison needle...
So do guards, do officers support these programs? And they're the ones that are on the front lines of facing the consequences of these programs. Do they support those programs in our prisons?
I would say that some, yes, do support it. I would say that the prison needle exchange program is more challenging, and there's more support for the overdose prevention service.
So it's interesting because when it comes to, and I've tabled a petition in the House of Commons from correctional officers, and I've spoken to many correctional officers, and I'm proud to represent Battle River Crowfoot, of which is home to a federal institution, and many of my constituents are in fact correctional officers. And so far, I have yet to find an officer that supports the administration and allowance of illegal narcotics in Canadian prisons. Madam Commissioner, when it comes to stopping the flow of narcotics, do you think an environmental assessment of netting over a prison or some of the other tools that could actually deal with things like drones but getting held up in the bureaucracy, do you think that's an acceptable excuse to slow down the approval of things that would actually stop the flow of illegal drugs into our prisons?
Actually, we've done an awful lot. Drones are definitely an issue.
A huge issue, yes.
Yes, and there's been an increase in the last year of 37%. Since 2020, it's been an increase of 104%. Yeah. And we have different measures that we use, intelligence, searches, but also we have drone detection systems.
But I do hear again from...
Chair. I understand Mr. Kirk loves the sound of his own voice, but I would actually love to hear the answer from Commissioner Kelly on any of his questions.
Okay. Let's continue, Mr. Kirk, please.
Thank you, and I'm sorry that Ms. O'Connell is so offended by some of the questions that I'm asking on behalf of prison guards in our country. So Commissioner Kelly, the challenge associated with some of these things is that there is there's been a staggering decline in morale within the correctional service. There has been a host of concerns. There's not trust within the Ombudsman's office. So my question is simple, and I hope to get a quick one to the parole board here as well. But will you commit to speaking with your officers on the ground to actually hear the concerns that they have within the service?
What I can say is in the last few days, I've visited 3 institutions, and every time I visit an institution, I speak to the union's representatives, and I gather their comments.
So some unsolicited advice is speak to some of the guards on the ground, Commissioner Kelly, because I can tell you the conversations that I have, there is a troubling lack of confidence and a growing decline in morale within your service that is ultimately impacting the public safety of not only those officers, but also the trust that Canadians need to have in their institutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Keurig.